Welcome back to Battleborn Bets. I'm going to guide you through your Pro Football Survivor pool all NFL season long in 12 minutes or less. Am I not right, Robert?
12 minutes or less. It's like Dave Portnoy. One bite, you know the rules.
Thank you all so much.
Everyone knows the rules.
Everyone knows the rules. It's 12 minutes or less on Battleborn Bets. We are episode number 4, which means we are in week number 4. And happily enough to say that this is exactly the way we hoped our season was going to go. I mean, look, it ain't going to be any other better way. Yes, we are. We're definitely very, very, very much alive. We're not going to let you down in any way. I really, really wanted us to make sure that we have as much of this as humanly possible. So anyways, glad that we're all here to talk about week number 4.
Well, we do have to address the elephant in the room, and we're one lighter than we were last week.
We are one lighter, of course. So let's go ahead and actually hop right into it. Week number 3 was without a little bit of tarnish. 3,154 entries were eliminated. 13,811 survived to week number 4 with an implied value. Congratulations, everybody that are in the Circa Survivor pool, $1,355. From a point spread perspective, well, we remember the last Monday Night Football game. Lions put up 38 to beat the Ravens, 38-30 on Monday Night Football to wrap up NFL week number 3. From a betting perspective, well, they did it as 4.5-point road dogs. It did go over the total of 54. Favorites led. So we had this stat that I came up with that I found. I didn't come up with it. I just found it. They were 13-0 straight up. But now they're 12-4 as of week number 3. So not exactly the paved way that you thought it was going to be. You just can't simply take the favorite and expect them to move on. It's not going to be that easy. So let's take a look at how we actually played this out. Rob, let's take a look at you here. I'm going to take a peek at. Let's talk a little bit about your entry here, Robert.
Dick and Mouse hot dogs.
Yeah. So let's pull this up here. Seattle was your choice du jour. Average spread so far, you're laying 6.5 points through 3 weeks. And obviously with your one selection, you're moving on. So your thoughts after, I guess what, it probably didn't take much. You were about 8 minutes into the game where you were probably like saying, bye, okay, I don't need to watch this game. What were your thoughts there on Seattle?
And that's exactly what I did, Rob. I stopped watching it after the second quarter. Actually, a little bit longer than you had given me credit for, but I was still reeling from the shock of Green Bay getting upset, segueing nicely into, Johnny's unfortunate demise for one of his entries. But I did lose Green Bay in another Survivor pool. So Circa, I'm good. The other one, not so much. But
Green Bay definitely had several people torn up. John, let's go ahead and take a look at your entries here. Under snap judgment, Green Bay, you could see they're X'd and gone, but you are still alive, right? And so 2 out of 3 quite ain't bad. Seattle moves on for you. We talked a little bit about them. Tampa, John, let's talk about that. That was an interesting ending. Looks like the Buccaneers simply refused to win easily and comfortably. That's 3 wins on this 3 wins on the season out of 3. All 3 wins came on a last 60-second, 90-second rundown to win their game. What are you thinking there as you're wearing the New York Jets, who actually gave you that little push into week number 4? Talk a little bit about Tampa here, John.
Yeah, ironically, after that blocked kick that the Jets returned for a touchdown to go up a point, I said to myself, "There's too much time on the clock for the Bucs to drive back." Typical Jet fan. There's too much time on the clock so the Swiss cheese Jets defense did just that and allowed.
Actually, Mayfield made a couple of really nice throws on that drive.
Baker Mayfield's a warrior. I would love him as my quarterback. Believe me when I tell
Could
you.
have had him too. Everybody could have had him.
Yeah, I mean, they probably should have taken him over Aaron Rodgers, to be honest. But anyway, I digress. But we'll take the win. These types of wins are going to happen in Circa or any Survivor pool. You're going to have, look what happened with Dallas, in week 2 with the Giants. I mean, it's just these things are going to happen. You're not going to have easy games like you did with Seattle last week. A lot of these are going to be sweats.
Well, look at Seattle this week. They followed that same script. Coughed up a big lead.
Yeah.
Had to kick a field goal with the clock winding down to just win that
Seattle
game.
Was very Seattle was very impressive. They won. They had that blowout win on Sunday, and then you got to turn around and play on a short week on the road. So they come back and they win that game. So now they're 3-1. Seattle's looking pretty good.
And that division is easily the best division in football.
Yeah, it's good. But the Green Bay game, I don't want to talk about. But yeah, I mean, with Green Bay, it looks for 3.5 quarters they dominated that game, and then Jordan Love threw that terrible interception that gave Cleveland the short field. They score the touchdown, and then Green Bay goes back down the field, has the field goal blocked, and then they ultimately lose. In regulation, which is even crazier. That game was lost in regulation. You think that game might go to overtime, but.
I hope it would go to overtime, but
all the metrics just looked like in favor of Green Bay for that game. But Cleveland's got a good defense. Granted, they were at home, and this Green Bay game was a road game. But
let's analyze this a little bit, Johnny. Do you think you can take Cleveland in any take against Cleveland in any spot moving forward with that defense? I mean, I think if anything, this week has kind of showed the world that it's not comfortable picking against the Browns when you're trying to survive.
Yeah, I mean, they've got Detroit this week, so I think a lot of people will be on the Lions, to be honest, maybe pivoting off of Buffalo. We'll see. But I think maybe, they are viable this week. We'll see what happens on Saturday night when the numbers come out. But I'm sure that our next segment here we'll talk about, the options for this week.
I want to thank our friends over at SurvivorAtlas.com who are providing these great visuals. You could find them, of course, at SurvivorAtlas.com and follow them on X, Twitter. They're a great follow as they've been great friends of our show. I've been able to map out everything in all of my entries. And we started with 10 bald razors. We're down to 8. Very, very wrong with Atlanta as they got shut out. They didn't lose. They got shut out. And in a way, I don't know, maybe I feel better. It was less numbing to just lose 30-0 than, have Atlanta, in some kind of a dogfight and end up, losing it by a field goal. I think I'd rather just get blown out. So this way I'm like, well, all right, this is over with. So we're at 8 out of 10. Very happy about that as we actually pivoted off of Green Bay. We were, my partner and I were debating putting 3 entries on Green Bay, and we pivoted off of that onto a little bit more of Seattle. And
I remember you sending us that text saying
it was
last minute pivot.
It's a last minute pivot and it worked. But take a look here. We're taking a look here. We mentioned Cleveland just a few minutes ago. Where possibly are you comfortable? Heck, there's a spot that I see right over here. They've got Tennessee, and they're going to be a projected 5.5 point favorite.
And that's
here in week number 14. Which is pretty amazing that you have an opportunity here to take the Brownies in Survivor if you actually get up to week 14. What do you say?
We've got a long way to go until
what do you mean
point.
Actually? Of course we're getting to week 14.
From your mouth to God's ears.
It's going to happen. It's going to happen. There's no other way around it. So, gentlemen, we did it. We are up to week number 4. And so there's something I'd love to take a look at is we already had a brief rundown of what week 4 looks like. Let's we are sharing here, and what I wanted to do was just include a little taste of week number 4, and we could see here this is sorted by likelihood of victory from top to bottom. John, you came up with a concept that I really wanted to introduce moving forward from episode 4 on. And let's go ahead and start off with you here as we break down week number 4. As you can see here, we've, and for those of you listening in on podcasts, actually, so I will go ahead and describe. We actually do have the opportunity to see the odds of each team broken down by winning percentage. So Buffalo hosting the New Orleans Saints, 15.5-point favorite, a 90% likelihood of victory here. And it's pretty much 15.5. There's a 16.5 at Station, and at South Point, they're still dealing that. So look, it's more than 2 touchdowns, bottom line. So if you've got Buffalo here, you're probably taking them in week 4 or maybe week 5 hosting New England. Detroit, you can consider them here, despite them being a holiday team. There's other options as well out there that we could take a look at. But however, John, what I wanted to take a look at here is 5 selections that you feel the most confident about in terms of advancing from week 4 into week 5, in AKA money line plays here. I'll let you go ahead and take it away here, John. Tell us a little bit about what you feel is your most likely winners here in week number 4.
Yeah, definitely. Like you mentioned, Rob, Buffalo's at the top of the list. I don't, if Spencer Rattler goes in there and wins that game, God bless him. I just don't see it happening. They got creamed in Seattle last week, and now they got to travel cross country to play the Bills. So good luck there.
Yep.
But I don't think in the Circa contest, they're going to be highly owned. I don't think it's going to be as highly owned as people necessarily think. I think this is a savvy group of contestants, so you're going to see some pivots. So I kind of agree. I think it's going to be Buffalo. Detroit will be up there too. As we talked about before the show, they are a holiday team, but do you feel comfortable taking them against Green Bay on the holiday? So maybe this is a spot to take Detroit to pivot off of Buffalo, and then you play Buffalo next week. But Houston's another very interesting team. But at the same time, it's 2 0-3 teams. The Houston defense is good. What are we going to see in that game? Another thing with Houston, they have no future value. This is the week to take them, or you're not taking them the rest of the year, probably, unless there's some kind of game that comes across their schedule where there's a major injury or something to the other team. So, maybe Houston. I think some people will be on the Chargers just because of the Giants element, but that's a dangerous game with Jackson Dart. New England's another team that people might take on a lower percentage, and then you have Denver also. So, I would probably say Buffalo, Houston, Detroit, New England, a little bit of Chargers, and a little bit of Denver. I think that's the way it's going to go this week.
You're not so I did not hear Houston Texans here. You're a little concerned about a 0-3 team playing an 0-3 team despite them being at home. I have no problem with that thought process in any way. So good point also to make that you're not you're prefacing it by telling everyone, hey, you may not have these picks available to you any longer, but I like the layout there. So we're going to go and just include this here for everyone to view here. Those John's picks right there for most likelihood to advance in week number 4 as we pivot to Rob. Rob, let's stay with Houston right here, as this seems to be at least a percentage heavy selection. I feel that where we're looking at right now, 73.6% of Circa survivors have Buffalo left. 73.4% have the Ravens left. Those seem to be pretty likely. You've got one selection here, so you really clearly need to make this count. Your 5 top candidates here would be which?
I would probably go Buffalo 1. I would put Denver 2, just based on the fact that Detroit is, potential holiday option, and I don't want to discount that, regardless of who they're playing. It's going to be a home game for them. So if you take Detroit at any point prior to Thanksgiving, that's one less team that you have at your disposal come Thanksgiving week. So I think that's being lost on a lot of people. So I would flip Denver and Detroit. For me personally, I have Denver available. A good amount of the pool does not because they selected them in week 1. So
Yep.
that could be advantageous as well. No way Green Bay lays an egg again. I think they go into
Famous last
Dallas and put
words.
up 40 points because Dallas cannot stop anybody.
Okay.
So my list is Buffalo, Denver, Detroit, Green Bay. And I'd probably put Houston 5. But I don't feel good about it.
You better feel good about it. You said Buffalo, Denver. I heard Green Bay, Detroit, and then
Detroit, Green Bay, and Houston.
I think Houston's going to be the second most popular pick in Circa this week. That's just, right, and it's going to be close. I think we'll see. I'm kind of interested to see what happens. But
they're
really,
getting
really
7
great.
points. I love Tennessee from a spread perspective, getting a touchdown, but we're not really
another contest.
analyzing that here.
Another show.
So that just shows
day.
you how close I think the game's going to be.
Right, exactly. So we could see here at Survivor Atlas's forecast, their algorithmic forecast comes up with a 34% spread on Buffalo in week number 4. 23% will take Houston, followed by 14% on the Lions, as you could see there. Both a turkey and a pine tree team. Denver. So John, they are forecasted to be taken pretty much neck and neck with the LA Chargers. So well put there. I have a feeling that you're right. Rob, you mentioned the Packers. I think they'll come back significantly stronger than they did. To put up 10 points, that's not the Green Bay way. You're not going to win really any game, putting up 10. And so I get it. It's not only a nationally televised game on Sunday evening, it's in Dallas. I have a feeling with, take a look, 6.5s, 6.5s with some juice. There's a 7 over at DK. It's pretty much as close as you can get to that 7 as you can. 47.5 is the total. So they're expecting it to be, a fairly high scoring game. It's on the higher end of the spectrum in terms of totals for week number 4. So yeah, you probably think Green Bay's probably going to line up for about 27, 20, maybe even 30 points based off of just the implied point spread and the total. I don't know if Dallas can get to 24 this week. It's really the question, right, from a betting perspective. So laying an egg, probably not going to happen there for Green Bay as they did against Cleveland. And the difference in defenses between Dallas's and Cleveland, almost
best to worst, if you really want to think about it.
Yeah, that's a good point. So I think we'll see a massive bounce back from Green Bay. You talked me into it, Robert Ginter. You did. Wasn't going to lean as heavily into to Green Bay much at all. If, as a matter of fact, if I was going to do anything, it's probably going to be a very heavy dosage of Buffalo, along with New England and Detroit.
Really, you're in the New England camp, huh?
I'm in the New England camp. I just think that there's going to be far more being laid into Houston than others would expect. That 23% projected number, I think, is going to be a touch higher. And I don't know if I'm comfortable laying into a team that's 0-3. I did put them down, but I think that my candidates would probably be more towards Buffalo and more towards the Chargers and New England. Trung candidate, by the way, Trung candidate. So I think that this is basically the way I would lay this out. Look, we've got our candidates here, and we know what we are leaning towards. But Rob, you've got one pick. If you had to push that button, as it would be 3:59:59 Pacific, who would you probably be likely taking here with your one pick?
Well, I think we need to contextualize what I did in the first 3 weeks with those picks.
Okay.
Which I wound up surviving with Jacksonville. Then I believe I took Dallas, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Yep.
And then Seattle. So right there, I feel like I'm in really good shape and can afford to kind of go chalk on this week 4 pick, so I feel good about Buffalo.
You have Jacksonville, Arizona, and Seattle.
Oh, Arizona was the second one. I'm sorry.
Yes. So you still have Dallas if you want to use them.
Probably not this week. Great. I look. This is
his entry is in great shape. Better than my two.
From future value perspective. I would agree with that exactly.
Johnny, but you lost your worst one. That's the solace, I believe, that we can take away from this.
Yeah,
I think you lost your worst. If you're going to lose one, you wanted to lose that one the most.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree.
John, with 2 selections left, what would you think would be your lean here among all of the candidates that you put up?
I mean, probably Buffalo's going to go on one. That's hazard to guess. The other one, Houston, is very much in play. The Green Bay discussion during this segment is interesting too. I don't know if I want to go back to that well again, but
does lightning strike twice in the same? You think about it that way.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing: if I do take Buffalo on one entry, I'll feel a little bit better about maybe taking Houston or another team with that second entry.
Is there any chance you take Buffalo in both?
Probably not. New England there too. Houston or New England on one, and then probably Buffalo on the other.
New England Patriots, by the way, pretty much 5.5 everywhere, hosting the Carolina Panthers. So,
am I the only one that does not like that game?
Look, I mean,
I look at the recency bias and see how well Carolina played last week on the road.
Okay,
they're going
were they that good, or was Atlanta that unprepared?
I don't want to think that Atlanta's that bad, but I think Atlanta beats New England if they play each other, or at least that game's really close.
The Patriots outplayed the Steelers. The Steelers are don't get me going on Pittsburgh, but they're lucky to have 2 wins. I looked at the numbers for the New England their numbers were a lot better than Pittsburgh's. They just happened to. I don't know. It's a good question. I just think that New England's well coached too. So we'll see. We'll see. It's an interesting game.
And if there's ever a spot to take New England, I guess this is the spot.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get by with the Patriots or the Texans on an entry this week and not take Buffalo, you can line yourself up to take Buffalo next week. I think a lot of contestants are taking Buffalo this week or next week. Those are your spots.
John,
I don't think they're going to save them for week 18, because they might be resting their starters.
Yeah,
and that's something that's to take into consideration as well, because I had those same thoughts.
The Bills might have the division wrapped up by Thanksgiving.
Maybe before then, but they could be playing for home field throughout the AFC.
They might have home field wrapped up before week 18 even.
Yeah,
the rate they're going. John, one last thought here. Stick with me on this last topic here. If projected number of entries, the guys over at Survivor Atlas are calling for just a touch under 35% on the Buffalo Bills. Last week, they said that Seattle was going to be 39%. I said, man, that's really high. I didn't think it was going to be close to 39.
And they were close, 35?
Close. It was right on the number.
Oh, it was 39. Okay.
Exactly 39%.
Yeah.
So all the hats off for that projection on the forecast. 34.3% is what they're calling for on the Buffalo Bills. John, over or under 34.3% on Buffalo this week?
A shade under, but it's very close. It's very close. It's in the 30 to 35 range, but yeah, I'll go under. Just because I think the Circa crowd is just a little different.
The Circa crowd is absolutely different. It moves in ways that other pools definitely do not, and it has nothing to do with the holiday picks either. It's a different mindset altogether. Rob, same question. Projected forecasted number of entries on Buffalo, 34.3%. Over or under?
Over.
Very good.
I say it approaches 40 to 42%.
Yeah, that's good. I think it's going to go over as well. I think that there's a small chance that it does break week 3's number on Seattle as well.
Does it hit 50% though?
No, it doesn't. No, that's
Okay.
way too high. If that happened, although in the other high end, the high limit pool, Grandissimo that Circa put out, there's a very good chance that Buffalo is 50%.
I'd say they're going to be higher than 50.
Yeah, so let's stay tuned for that.
I mean, the volatility with the numbers is just so much higher with the limited amount of entries there. So 1 or 2 can sway that significantly.
Let's go in talking about upsetting it. There may be a pick or an entry here that could bust an awful lot of entries. Rob, without leading into the one that you mentioned just about 4 or 5 minutes ago, who is the team that you see forecasted here that is most likely to be upset, in your opinion, this week?
I would probably say New England.
Mm-hmm. John Howard?
Chargers. Jackson Dart.
And I see you, Miami Dolphins, at 1.7%. No, you are not getting this victory. It belongs to the team that is adorned on top of Mr. John Howard's baseball cap. And the New York Jets is the team that I feel will be the one that'll be upsetting the Dolphins apple cart as they'll tailspin into 0-4 land.
But if you're taking Miami, you deserve to lose. I'm sorry.
Well, 1.7% are being called to do exactly that. So I wish you all well.
I actually think one more comment. I think San Francisco is going to surprise in terms of the numbers taken as well.
More than 1%.
Yes. Yeah. I'd say it approaches 5.
Yeah, there's reason to believe that as well. I know that the game is redlined right now with some notices out on, obviously, a bunch of injuries. The Niners are just pretty much playing their second team outside of McCaffrey, but they are 3. Caesars has a 3.5, but pretty much 3s everywhere for San Francisco, which is pretty amazing. Jacksonville 2-1, by the way, haven't really embarrassed themselves too much.
But they've gotten very fortunate too.
They've been very lucky. They've been very lucky, as most of us can definitely see. And you know what? Actually, we all need a little bit of luck these days. This is exactly what this pool is about. You can handicap all you want, but sometimes, some good old-fashioned luck is exactly what you all need. So, you know what?
Gamble is gamble. That's all
I'm going to wish you. I'm going to wish you all the best of luck, because we all need it, and that's exactly what this show's about. We want to bring you a little bit of perspective from a handicapping, but man, we need luck in these pools, guys. We need luck. So that's it. Episode 4 is in the bag, guys. I hope you have yourselves a great weekend ahead. Enjoy it. Win every entry. And clearly, we want to see everyone back with every single one of your entries heading all the way on into week number 5. So for Mr. John Howard, on Battleborn Bets. See you all again next time.